So greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Del Barzi. And as always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. We'd love to know what you think. So here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere on the globe at any stage in their nursing careers, from students to retirees. And we share our goals, our achievements, our inspirations, our visions. And today I am very, very pleased to welcome Mary Turner. So Mary Turner RN is a voice for excellence and extraordinary results as a master business and a transformational life coach. She's also a seasoned business professional with over 30 years of nursing and corporate healthcare experience. Mary takes a holistic approach to business management and training. She is an expert advisor with proven tools for success. Known best as the listening specialist and accountability partner, permits Mary to attract sincere thought leaders and healthcare professionals who hold learning as a way of life and excellence as a way of being. Mary owns 5 fruitful businesses headquartered in Houston, Texas, with branches in her companies in 23 states. Her companies serve organizations by offering a wide range of services, including CPR and continuing education classes for professional development, business consulting services to assist in business advancement, business coaching to workers who seek to become entrepreneurs, massage therapy as a form of stress management, and wellness retreats for holistic healing. Mary's passion is coaching and mentoring clients to reach their peak performance by reminding them of their highest potential and unlimited possibilities as expression of a higher source. Believing we are all interconnected, no matter where we live in the world, Mary sees people in our lives as mirrors of ourselves. We are constantly attracting these people to assist us in being all we are created to be. Mary asserts that only to the measure that we ourselves are healed can we assist others to heal. She's a lifelong student of human potential, metaphysics, and ontological learning. Mary is committed to lifelong learning and continuous personal growth and development. She enjoys dancing, reading, skiing, cycling, and meditation. What she cherishes most is quality time with herself. When she's not working, you will find her traveling to new regions of the earth she's not yet explored. Her adventures tend to be spontaneous, tasting international foods and discovering cultural likes and differences deepens her love and understanding of people all over the world. She loves to laugh and be around happy people, and we invite you to be part of her world. Mary, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Listening to you read that, wow. Who was that?
That was you. But really, thank you so very much for doing this. I truly appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
So the first thing I always want to know from people is, why are they nurses? Why, or I should say, the first thing I want to know from nurses is, why are they nurses? What brought you into this?
Well, when I was about 8 years old, I remember walking up to my mother and saying to her, "Hey, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to be a nurse." And I don't even know where that came from. I don't have any inkling. I didn't see a TV show. I didn't have an experience where I was in the hospital and saw how the nurses treated me. I just knew at the age of about 8, I wanted to be a nurse. And so when the time came, off to college, "Mom, I'm excited. I'm ready to go to nursing school." And she said, "Well, Mary, I can't afford to send you to nursing school." And my heart dropped, because that had been my dream. That was the goal. That was what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I went into the Air Force. And when I went into the Air Force, I went in as a technician. And what I did was it was a medical technician, and I worked in every area of nursing. And as an Air Force technician, you often get to do what RNs do, even though you don't have the license. And one particular job was transporting patients all over the world. So if they were in the Philippines and they had a condition and they needed expertise, sometimes we would transport them to Japan. And I remember one day, the guy wheeled on a incubator with a premature infant. And when I saw the baby, I said, "What is this? What's going on?" And I started asking questions, and they said, "This is a premature infant." And when I finished that day, I went and asked my supervisor, "Can I work in NICU with the neonates?" They transferred me in there. And from there, I went to nursing school.
That is really an awesome story. I love it. I love it. That's an awesome story. So what challenges did you face? So
Many.
yeah, nursing doesn't
Well,
come without challenges.
yeah, I love nursing and I love people. And the challenge in nursing that I faced was around racism, bullying, burnout, and then this catty mentality, if you will, of women backstabbing each other, just at odds all the time. It was just part of the culture.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know. And that's another thing that really I hope we can get past. Um, I'm not sure why it's become so pervasive in our profession. I mean, we tout it, we even go around saying, "Oh, nurses eat their young," and stuff like that, as if it's something that we are proud of. I don't know.
I think, it's women. The profession of nursing is mostly women. And when women get together for some reason, instead of supporting each other, sometimes we often are in competition. And I don't know if that has to do with childhood conditioning, where we're in this society where men rule. And so females sometimes we have a tendency to feel like we have to be a certain way in order to attract a man or to appeal to a man. And sometimes that would be, you could see that as women interact with each other in a man's presence to try to belittle the other woman as if to make themselves look better.
I hope we get past that. I hope we get
We
past
will.
I see some areas in which we are at least trying to I don't know, to be a little bit more supportive. Not it's not happening as the way I would like it to, but perhaps there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I think so. I have to believe it because women really are compassionate people. We give from our heart. And that's just that one area that when it comes to two women, oftentimes, and again, I think it's our conditioning from very early in life that we learn these behaviors.
Yeah.
It's not who we are. It's not our natural state.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, people might like to think differently, but really, women are truly the backbone of just about everything.
Yes.
Just about everything. So
imagine if women decided they weren't going to have babies anymore. That's the end of the
planet. Yeah.
We have more power than we know.
Yeah, I know. I know, I know, I know. We birth and raise and give character to and teach leaders and kings and emperors and presidents and whatever we do every single day. Every single day. So you worked in, so then did you end up making NICU your specialty after you became a nurse?
I did. I did it for many years. And then I went on to start my own business. But I've worked in med surg, OBGYN, infection control, home health, hospice, rehab. And I was even the first RN nurse recruiter. This is way before that. Now, most organizations have at least one nurse.
Yeah.
But yeah, here in Houston, I was the first RN nurse recruiter. I out recruited HR specialists 8 to 1.
Yeah.
And they were like, how did you do it? I'm a nurse.
You were that.
Recruiting nurses.
Exactly.
I worked in nursing education, nursing administration, and now I'm a board certified nurse coach.
So let's talk about that, because you say you're a transformational life coach.
Yes.
Is your target? I know that you target business people. Are you targeting nurses as business people?
Yes.
General. Yeah.
Well, I don't turn anyone away. And my target market is the healthcare industry, in particular nurses, nurse entrepreneurs, and nurse coaches.
Yeah. I think that I am very pleased actually to see that coaching is becoming a very, very big thing, and a very more accepted thing. Because at the end of the day, even though it wasn't given that name, a lot of what we did, a lot of what we do is coaching. And it was not recognized as part of what you do or as something essential that you do and something for which you should be compensated for doing.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm very pleased to see that it is it really is gaining some momentum, and that there are some, there are more and more people who are saying, listen, you got to recognize me for doing this.
Yes, we want to sit at the table as nurses. Not only do we bring our coaching skills, but we also bring our nursing experience.
Exactly. I'm so happy that you said that. We want a seat at the table. We must have a seat at the table. We must have a seat at the table and have some fundamental input into all the decisions that are made, corporate and local and whatever. We really must have a seat at the table.
Yes.
So, and you mentioned the skills we bring. They are some, I think we take a lot of those skills for granted now, and don't even realize that they are they're unique. I don't even know if they're unique, but they're very special to us. If you have been a nurse for more than 2 weeks, you're an innovator.
Yeah.
Really.
Especially during COVID.
Yes. And this idea, you've got to be thinking outside the box. You've got to become so resourceful, and all of this. So yeah, you've got to learn to know the rules and obey the rules, but break the rules sometimes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what it means when I think of being a nurse advocate. Exactly. We can't always follow the letter of the law. We have to follow the intent behind the law.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're going to truly serve our patients.
Yeah, exactly. And better than anyone else, we know that no two people fit in the same box. So.
Right.
You got to get creative. So you have 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 businesses in multi-states. Talk to me about these things, these businesses.
Well, As I look at it now,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that I had accomplished so much because I'm just being me, you know? And it's not until, again, you were reading about me and then you say you have these 5 businesses. And to me, it's just me doing what I love, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I think we're here on the planet for a purpose, and I'm fulfilling my purpose because I'm clear about who I am and why I'm here.
okay, excellent, excellent. But you just mentioned, I know that you realize, you know that you have these businesses. But you just also said, to me it's just me. you know, and sometimes we don't acknowledge what we do
Mhm.
or put it out there because we said, well, it's just me. When what we actually have and what we actually do and could contribute is something very, very valuable that actually needs to be recognized. And actually, probably not only from our own point of view, but probably for someone else who needs to recognize that this can be done, and can be done in a structured way, professionally, and bring you some remuneration too. So,
And I think what happened with me is as I started my first business, I am a licensed massage therapist as well.
okay. Mhm.
And I really just did it because at the time, the man that I was dating, he was going into it. I thought it'd be something we'd share, do together.
Yeah.
And I discovered it was something that I love to do, and I was able to help people. And as I started my journey into massage therapy, I didn't want for clients. They were just at my doorstep, at my beck and call. I didn't need to market, although I guess I was marketing in my own way.
Yeah.
And people started asking me, well, how are you getting all these clients? And so I started doing continuing education on how to get massage clients to help people, and it turned into a business. And
Yeah.
then what I realized with the business development, business consulting, is people would call me, how did you start that staffing agency? I had the third largest staffing agency in Houston. It blew up overnight, instant success. And what I realized is some of the things that I know, I thought everybody else knew.
Exactly.
I had
Exactly.
no clue they didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's how all of these businesses really came about, is to be in service of others,
Yeah.
sharing with them the things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. 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 And that's huge. That's huge because that well, you're a coach, so I was about to say that above all, this sharing, this attitude of sharing above all is really what makes for success. It's really what makes for success. So
Yes,
it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. Keeping it to yourself is not going to get you anywhere.
right?
So, what advice would you give to somebody who is wanting to be a nurse?
Go for it. That's one thing that I would say. I also would say take a look at, do some introspection, find out who you really are and what makes you tick. And if serving people is the thing that is in your gut, your heart, do it. And bring with you deep care. Because I think care has been starting to, is what's missing that we had 30, 35 years ago when I first started in healthcare. People came into the profession because they cared and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to serve other people. It wasn't about making money,
Mm-hmm.
because nurses are finding that money is great, but it's not worth their life. It's not worth their happiness. It's not worth all of those other things that are intangibles.
Yeah. 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 It's I don't know, we have to come to, and maybe this is a journey that we needed to make, but we have to come to some kind of meeting between the money and the caring. I remember I have been a nurse for greater than 40 years. So you know that I came
Wow.
into the profession when nurses were not paid anything worth thinking about. And I know that I was one of those nurses who agitated and all of that, that we need to be paid more, right? And we need our gifts, our talents, what we bring to the table need to be recognized, and it need to be recognized monetarily.
Yes.
And here I am at the stage now where I say to myself, maybe we need to go back to paying us less. You know, that would never happen, and I don't think that I seriously mean that. But I do mean that at that time, I met people who were willing and wanted to give more and be more for someone else.
Yes.
At the same time, I have to recognize, though, that the demands, the corporate demands on nursing and the governmental demands on nurses were not the same. Now we have to practice defensive nursing, or at least I call it defensive nursing.
I like that. I like that.
You know, and there's so many regulations, and there's so much of putting stuff in place that, you know, to protect this license that you earn. That sometimes we lose sight of the fact that, are we protecting the license, or are we taking care of the person?
Right? That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. All of these things that we have to sort out as nurses. All of these things.
Who better to do it?
Who better to do it? Who better to do it?
Because
Exactly.
if we don't do it for ourselves, someone else will. And that would be a pity.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, they don't know who we are. So there you go. So, Mary, I've been collecting these words. One of the things I want to know is how we actually see ourselves. So I asked the question, if you had to describe the most essential quality of a nurse in just one word, what would that word be?
I'm going to have to say care.
Care. Okay. Comes up quite a bit. Care and
I know
compassion.
they have the I care statements and all that, but you have to really embody it.
Yes, exactly.
It can't just be something that sounds good
That you
on the vision statement. You have to live it.
Yeah. It has to be part of who you are. It has to be it has to be part of who you are. So you do so much. You do all of these things, you know, and I know that you talked about in your bio, you talked about traveling and, you know, eating different foods and meeting different people and stuff like that. But what does actual self-care mean to you?
Self-care, to me, that's a good question. Keeping your mind, body, and spirit fueled at all times. It means a lifestyle of caring for the nurse first. So that's massages, that's taking trips, it's doing the things that you love, and introspection, reflection, meditation, all of those things, mind, body, and spirit, because we're holistic beings. And sometimes I think we put a lot of emphasis on the physical, and that's great. And we need to add the mind and the spirit to that equation as well.
Exactly. I loved that you said that you love spending quality time with yourself.
Yes.
I love that because, you know, there are so many. I think that sometimes we don't like to be with ourselves.
Right.
Sometimes we don't like to, and is that because we don't know ourselves, or we don't we feel like we need someone else to make us, you know, complete or happy or whatever. So when I read that about you, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I
I'm my
love that.
best friend.
Yeah, and you have to be, you have to know yourself. You have to be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I don't know how you manage. I don't know how you show up in the world, and I don't know how you're a nurse anyhow.
right.
Mhm,
Well, it hasn't been easy, I'll tell you that. And
mhm.
I think what has helped me is understanding that it's okay. It's okay. The good, the bad, and the ugly of me. It's
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
because I'm a work in progress. And as long as I'm committed to doing the work, all is well.
it's good. It's good. Mary, I don't even know how to thank you for this wonderful conversation. Really, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insight. Um, just meeting you and all of those things that you bring to the table. Thank you so very much.
Well, the feeling is mutual, and I really appreciate the platform that you have, allowing nurses to really share what's important to them and have a voice. And not only that, allow other nurses to have permission to be themselves and express themselves.
Exactly, exactly.
So thank you, and I acknowledge you for everything that you're doing here. It is wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.